The moments that matter don't wait for Wi-Fi. From sharing big news instantly to streaming your favourite shows on the go, your connection should always be there. That's why we've made our pay monthly plans bigger, giving you more data at the same price, so nothing gets in the way of staying close to what matters most. Visit jibtele.com or call 200 52200 to sign up.
This is GBC News, the headlines. A power cut has affected the whole of Gibraltar caused by an interruption to the gas supply. The Chief Minister says Gibraltar is ready for treaty implementation and will not be found wanting. Failures in 8 of the expected principles when assessed by the UK National Audit Office in 2017. Former teacher and scout leader takes the witness stand in his own defence, and local charity encourages men 50 and over to get tested as early detection can save lives. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A widespread power cut has affected most areas around Gibraltar this evening. The outage has been caused by an interruption to the gas supply at the North Mole Power Station. The government claims recently installed battery energy storage system did respond as designed. However, the sudden loss of generation exceeded the level of power that the system was able to absorb and stabilise at that moment. The Gibraltar-wide power cut has caused considerable issues, with many people having travelled to Gibraltar from across Europe for the KPMG Gaming Summit. Many of them had arranged business dinners, including one hosted by Trade Minister Nigel Feetham. But some restaurants have taken the decision to shut down for the evening, unable to cook food. Bars around the Rock are also full of people waiting to watch the first match of the World Cup. The Electricity Authority says it is working to restore supply as quickly and safely as possible. The Minister with responsibility for the Electricity Authority was at the North Mole Power Station this evening. She said she was therefore unable to attend the King's birthday parade. Gemma Arias-Vasquez will be joining us live in the studio shortly. The government and the GEA say they are reviewing the circumstances surrounding the interruption to the gas supply to establish the precise cause and to ensure that any necessary follow-up action is taken. The authority says it apologises to members of the public and businesses for the inconvenience caused. Meanwhile, in a statement late this evening, gas supplier PX Limited said the power failure arose from an apparent failure of equipment which controls the supply of liquid natural gas to the power station. They have apologised for the incident and says they will work to ensure it doesn't happen again. GBC understands the power is now being restored and some areas around the Rock have power. We are now joined live on set by Electricity Authority Minister Gemma Arias-Vasquez. Thanks for joining us at very short notice. It has been a busy evening and day for you, I'm sure. The government statement this evening would begin with that. The battery storage system worked as designed. Surely if the end result is Gibraltar losing power, something has gone wrong.
Absolutely. So because of the interruption in the gas supply, what has happened is that two engines were running on gas. The two engines were at 10 megawatts each. They both failed. The battery energy storage system is meant to go up to 14 kilowatts. So when the failure happened in the energy, it tried to pick up and it couldn't. Therefore, the whole system failed. And that is the reason. I'm not here tonight to give excuses. I am as annoyed as everyone else in Gibraltar is over the power outage. And I am here to show face, as it were, as one says in Spanish.
As I said, we have the statement from PX Group this afternoon. This afternoon's power failure in Gibraltar arose from an apparent failure of equipment which controls the supply of liquid natural gas. So on a technical basis, most people aren't going to understand this. It's a different mechanism to the battery storage system, as you're describing. But surely is there not some holistic approach that, we need to look at what might happen, what might go wrong, and how can you anticipate? Is this not something you might have anticipated?
So, as you're aware, there are backups to the backup. So we have numerous systems in place in order to try and ensure that there is minimal interruption to the power supply in Gibraltar. What has happened is that the entire... So we have the LNG supply, which comes directly to the power station, which is how power is supplied to Gibraltar normally. It's supplied by either LNG or by diesel. We have both types of engine. And what happened this afternoon is that there was a failure in the LNG. So obviously we will be asking a lot of questions of PX, as we have done in the past of every every reason that there has been of when there is a power cut. Again, I'm not here to give excuses. I'm here to assure the general public that we will be asking those questions.
As mentioned previously, the KPMG Summit began today to bring together operators, CEOs, regulators and other representatives from the gaming sector. The intention is to showcase Gibraltar as a viable option to come and do business. The timing of this is somewhat embarrassing in that respect.
Absolutely. As I said, we are here to, we are trying, pursuant to the treaty, pursuant to the rules that we're trying to implement, to attract business to Gibraltar. So again, this is unacceptable and we will be asking all the relevant questions. To put this in context, Ian, there is nobody in Gibraltar that is currently more disheartened by this power cut than I am. It is extremely stressful when there is a power cut in Gibraltar. So, again, I am not here to give excuses, but to assure the general public that every time this happens, we put more steps in place to try and ensure that this doesn't happen again.
There are probably a few upset football fans around the place as well. Not to hammer the point home, but again, it is the World Cup opening match. The countdown is on. I'm not sure where in Gibraltar currently has the power restored. And a tough pill for the restaurant sector to swallow as well. Lots and lots of bookings, potentially one of the busiest nights of the evening. Anecdotally, we have heard a lot of people have been making the move across to La Línea for dinner and drinks. Same message to them, I assume, that it's something...
Same message. Power is being restored at the moment, so we're hoping that for the kick-off match at 9 o'clock, power will be restored across Gibraltar. I don't want to give any assurances, but power is currently being restored by the GEA. One thing I would say, Ian, is that I have been down at the power station since this happened, and the staff at the GEA have been working non-stop to try and restore power. I want to say thank you very much to the staff at the GEA, to the management of the GEA, and to everybody that was involved in trying to restore power, because they have been working flat out since this happened.
And again, I've been trying to count them just before we come on. It is not generalised power cuts, but there have been 7, 8, 9, 10 power outages around Gibraltar in 2026. We keep hearing this isn't going to happen again. It keeps happening again. What assurances can you give, or can you give assurances, or is it something we need to get used to?
Maybe I should learn not to give assurances. We try. So at every single instance where there has been a power cut, we have taken all the steps possible to try and make sure it doesn't happen again. We have introduced fines, severe fines, so that if a contractor does go through a cable, those fines will be levied. We have introduced different mechanisms so that we have power. For example, the BESS is one of them. Do we have a foolproof mechanism? No. We have to remember that we are an island when it comes to electricity. We provide our own electricity. So if we were to apply an analogy to the UK, if Wigan loses power, Liverpool will pick up in the grid and it'll carry on running. Here we are an island energy system. So the only way to make sure that energy system can continue to run is to carry on adding layers to try and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, it is electricity, and unfortunately, the unexpected does happen.
Is this potentially a finable offence for the gas supplier?
We have a contract with the gas supplier, so it's not a finable offence, but we will be seeking reassurances that this will not happen again. So we are trying to get to the bottom of exactly what happened, and we will be sitting with them in the next few days to try and get reasons as to why this happened again and how we can prevent it from happening again.
We look forward to an update, and thank you very much for joining us in the studio. We go now to our sports reporter, Jose Maria Ruiz. He's over in Ocean Village. He was there for a colour piece on the World Cup. The vibe might be a little bit different now. People might be a little irate. Jose, how's it looking? Is there power there?
Good evening from Ocean Village. Less than half an hour to go now before the biggest football tournament in the world kicks off. And there is pockets of Ocean Village that are relatively busy considering the power cut that is currently affecting Gibraltar. That's obviously thrown quite a spanner in the works for the fans that have come down here hoping to watch the opening game among friends out here in the open air. Now, the TVs are down, but I have to say that the ambiente, the atmosphere is quite high, quite positive. A lot of people that have arrived haven't moved here since getting here, even though the TVs aren't on. And we can see a lot of people here supporting their nations with the kits from the countries they will be supporting. Some Brazil, some Germany, some Spain, some Brazil as well. They won't be moved. There's some good energy here. They're quite hopeful. There's a sense of hope that the power will be back on before the game kicks off. There's a sense of determination. And I must say that the fans here are making sure that nothing gets between them and a good time. Again, hopeful that the game kicks off in time. Well, the game will kick off in time. Hopefully the power is back on in time for kickoff. I must say there's a real sense of determination and good humour here before the kickoff. 30 minutes to go, roughly. Fans hopeful. Fingers crossed. Gibraltar's keeping the faith.
Thanks, Jose. Hope springs eternal. Everyone's optimistic as the football's about to start. Moving away from the power cut, the Chief Minister says Gibraltar is ready for treaty implementation and will not be found wanting when the target date of the 15th of July arrives. The government has delivered 12 new four-wheel drive vehicles to Gibraltar's frontline border agencies as part of a wider security upgrade ahead of implementation. Fabian Picardo told GBC the installation of a network of CCTV has also been completed, with facial recognition technology ready to go live.
The government says the new 4x4 fleet is intended to support border patrols, rapid response and joint operational work at the frontier. 3 of the cars were displayed outside Number 6 today. The Governor, Lieutenant General Sir Ben Bathurst, met the Chief Minister, Fabian Picardo, for a look at them.
Yesterday I had the chance to see the 12 new vehicles that have been acquired for our law enforcement agencies to do the work that the community wants them to do north of the runway to ensure the security of that area when the frontier fence comes down. These are the vehicles that we're going to use. There's 4 of each of these, 4 for customs, 4 for the police and 4 for the BCA. And I wanted His Excellency the Governor to see, because of course this is a United Kingdom responsibility under the treaty, and the United Kingdom has to be satisfied constitutionally that Gibraltar can discharge its functions under the treaty. I wanted him to see what equipment we are providing, the resources that we're providing to the law enforcement agencies in Gibraltar. And I think it's an excellent piece of kit that we're providing to all of the law enforcement agencies. It's important the community be assured that they have the kit available.
Can you tell us how these will be deployed at the frontier?
So that's an operational matter for each of the heads of these agencies, but the aim is to ensure that they are showing anyone who may want to come into Gibraltar the muscular presence of our law enforcement agencies, our ability to intercept somebody who might be coming outside of our rules, our ability to assist and intercept any hot pursuit that there may be, and all, of course, in the area principally of where the pedestrian frontier entrance is now and the end of the loop, because all of that disappears. Because in all of the other areas, although the frontier fence is coming down, you do have the additional fence which protects the runway, and therefore there is no way for people to come onto what we might call mainstream Gibraltar and the area of Gibraltar north of the runway, other than through between the loop and the pedestrian access now. That, I think, will be really demonstrated to be an area of Gibraltar's jurisdiction because of the presence of these vehicles and our law enforcement agencies in the area, soon with their joint headquarters there also at Gibraltar's entrance.
And with some people having concerns over border security, do you feel that this presence of these cars will provide any reassurance to the public?
I hope so, and this is only part of it, of course, because the other thing I hope to be showing the public through the Gibraltar media very soon is the coverage of CCTV cameras and facial recognition CCTV cameras that gives us complete ability to have eyes on who is coming into Gibraltar, north of the runway, and through Gibraltar, through all of our thoroughfare and main street, with live facial recognition as well, should there be anybody there whose data and whose face is on the Interpol databases or on any other relevant database.
It's just over a month till the target implementation date. Can you give us any information on how this is going in the last stretch?
Well, it's progressing very well. Gibraltar was ready for the 10th of April. We're now even more ready for the 15th of July. A lot of the kit that we just could not get in time for the 10th of April is now here. All of the cameras are installed. All of the live facial recognition is ready to go live. Gibraltar is ready and will not be found wanting.
The Collector of Customs, John Bias, says the 4x4 fleet will make a genuine difference to how effectively customs officers can do their job. CEO of the Borders and Coast Guard Agency, Aaron Schipol, says it's a significant boost to the BCA's ability to respond quickly to incidents at the frontier. And the Commissioner of Police, Owain Richards, says it's an important step forward in supporting operations in one of Gibraltar's most sensitive security zones.
Gibraltar's Audit Office failed in respect of 8 expected principles when assessed by the UK National Audit Office back in 2017. None met international standards, with 2 areas red rated. These were independence and resource autonomy. Speaking on tonight's Viewpoint, the new principal auditor, Phil Sharman, said while his priority is to clear the backlog of audited accounts, his strategy for audit reform includes proposals for greater independence.
As the principal auditor, I'm an officer of Parliament. My remuneration is a direct charge on public funds. It doesn't have to be voted by Parliament, and that's an important constitutional safeguard. But the reality is I cannot do my work by me alone. I need an office that supports the function of the auditor. And that office is the Gibraltar Audit Office. But they are currently a department of government. And that doesn't sit easily in terms of independence. One argument is that government is essentially auditing itself. Now, what I'm proposing within the law reform and within the strategy is that we move the Gibraltar Audit Office from being a government department to being an independent agency in a similar way to the office of the Parliamentary Ombudsman, indeed, yes.
Mr. Sharman also addresses some of the controversies surrounding his predecessor in tonight's Viewpoint directly after this bulletin. It'll also be available on gbc.gi. Former teacher and scout leader Clayton Booster has taken the stand in his own defence in the sexual abuse trial against him. Mr. Booster accepted there was sexual communication between himself and some of the complainants, but said they were over the age of consent and that it was reciprocal. Mr. Booster faces 19 counts of sexual offences against children. He denies all charges.
He told the jury he was suicidal when he first became aware he was being investigated by police. Giving evidence in his own defence, the former teacher said he is bisexual and that it had been difficult to announce that to the world, particularly to his father. Mr. Busto accepted there had been sexual communication between him and some of the complainants, but said this happened when they were over the age of consent and that the communication was reciprocated. However, he denied all 11 charges relating to the complainant referred to in court as Mr. A, saying the allegations had been fabricated. During cross-examination, Crown Counsel Christian Roca put it to Mr. Busto that he knew which boys to target, describing them as children who lacked friends or confidence. Mr. Roca suggested the defendant had groomed them, dressing his communication as banter before becoming friends with them and then sexualizing the messages. Mr. Busto denied this, maintaining that the 4 complainants were of consenting age. The Chief Justice, Anthony Dudley, put it to Mr. Busto that, leaving aside whether they were adults, they were still individuals in school. The former teacher said that, in hindsight, it was wrong and he should have held back. Crown Counsel Christian Roca suggested Mr. Busto had recognised at the time that it was inappropriate and that this was why he wanted secrecy and the messages and photos deleted. Mr. Busto denied this, maintaining they were not boys but students and were of consenting age.
The UK Defence Secretary has resigned from government, saying the Defence Investment Plan falls well short of what is required for defence in the country at this dangerous time. The BBC quotes a Labour MP saying there are issues facing the Defence Department that do not lend themselves to easy answers. In a letter to Sir Keir Starmer, John Healey accused the Prime Minister or the Treasury of being unwilling to commit the resources the UK needs at this time of rising threats. It's believed he felt the 0.08% of GDP increase in defence spending was not enough. In response, the Prime Minister has insisted that military spending plans will keep the UK safe. Vehicles coming in and out of Gibraltar will be diverted via the East Gate commercial gate between 9 p.m. on Friday and 6 a.m. on Saturday. The government advises drivers to keep to the right-hand lane in Kingsway Tunnel when approaching the frontier and take the first exit on the roundabout, where traffic will be directed to the frontier via the customs area. Diversions will also be in place on the Spanish side for traffic entering Gibraltar. These temporary overnight changes will be in place as from tomorrow evening, the 12th, 9 p.m. to the 1st of July. Artificial intelligence regulation and the future of Gibraltar's gaming industry have taken centre stage at the KPMG Gibraltar Gaming e-Summit. Industry leaders, regulators and government representatives have gathered aboard the Sunborn to discuss the opportunities and challenges facing the sector, from technological innovation and player protection to taxation and market consolidation. Speaking to GBC, organiser Mickey Swindale highlighted AI's growing impact on gaming while stressing the need for Gibraltar to remain competitive in an increasingly regulated global market.
AI is the biggest thing everywhere, isn't it, right now? So I guess we're no different to anybody else here in the gaming industry. But I think the areas where it can make most difference, protecting players, when their gambling is not as we would wish it to be, not healthy, but also really making products more innovative and genuinely more interesting, more exciting for our consumers.
Now, we're talking about AI delivering in the future. Is it delivering already, though?
I think it is to some extent. I mean, you're probably like me, you know, you're kind of tinkering with it, you're asking ChatGPT questions, you're getting help to summarize meetings. Possibly someone my age isn't the right person to ask, because I think for a whole swathe of people, it's making a massive difference. The difference it's going to make, I think we can't even begin to imagine, but we will hear a bit more about it today.
Now, Gibraltar has long positioned itself as a leading gaming jurisdiction in an increasingly competitive global market. What steps are being taken to ensure we remain attractive for operators over, say, the next decade? Particularly, we've got the gaming tax coming in as well.
For sure, and I always feel for Gibraltar. We've been operating this event here since 2011, and Gibraltar has faced some real brickbats that were not of their own making that have massively impacted this jurisdiction. The gambling tax in the UK is just the latest, because by effectively wiping out profits of UK gambling operators who pay taxes here in Gibraltar, that has a really big impact on Gibraltar's net income as a jurisdiction. I think the way that the government and the regulator, Andrew Lyman, have responded to ensure Gibraltar kind of pivots, stays live on its feet, and the Chief Minister, Fabian Picardo, will be with us this afternoon to explain how the treaty is going to help the industry, as well as Gibraltarians in every sphere.
Now, a move perhaps from industry itself, as we've seen continued consolidation, mergers, acquisitions. What impact is this having on innovation, competition, and opportunities as well for smaller operators entering the market, perhaps?
Yeah, I think that the knee-jerk always with consolidation is to assume that the bigger you get, the more unwieldy you get. Genuinely, I think the opposite is true in the industry. To cope with the economics of the industry now, given the taxation load that it faces, and the amount it costs to be truly innovative and work with truly interesting suppliers, you do need size and scale. So I think that size and scale is a good thing for the industry. Where it gets really interesting is some of the providers to those very large operators. And on the operator panel at the end of the day, we'll hear about some of the really smaller, more innovative games creators who still feed the industry with new ideas. So I agree, coming in cold as a brand new startup, given the level of regulation, very tough to do. But it isn't size that prevents that, it's regulation.
You're watching GBC News. Still to come, Gibraltar marks World Prostate Cancer Day, and World Cup fever is upon us all, including the students over at St. Joseph's. We'll see how they've been getting ready. Back in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Looking for insurance that covers every part of your life? From your car, home and motorbike to your health, pets, boat and travel, we've got it all covered. We make insurance simple, clear and tailored to you. Visit us at 68 Irish Town, Monday to Friday 9 to 5:30 or Saturdays 10 till 2. Call 200 44628 or email gibraltar@ibexinsure.com. Ibex Insurance, making life easier.
Welcome to Cepsa Gibraltar, your one-stop station for every journey. Refuel fast, recharge your EV and drive cleaner with our AdBlue service. Step inside Carrefour Express for fresh food, drinks and daily essentials. From road trips to quick stops, we've got everything you need, all in one place. Cepsa Gibraltar, powering your drive every day.
Some things are too precious to leave to chance. At JT Security, we understand the value of discretion. With 24-hour surveillance, our graded safe deposit boxes offer you complete security and privacy. Furthermore, our competitive rates make it the most affordable in Gibraltar. JT Security, your valuables, our guarantee.
Our world runs on momentum. From the first light over the rock to the plans we make for the days ahead, each moment carries us forward. For 150 years, Capurro Insurance has moved with that energy. Rooted in Gibraltar, reaching the wider world, built on the past, and looking to the future, wherever momentum takes you next. Gibraltar Insurance will be by your side every step of the way.
Welcome back. Prostate Cancer Gibraltar is once again encouraging men aged 50 and over to get tested because early detection can save lives. Today, on World Prostate Cancer Day, the health authority supported the charity at the Piazza with a mobile health unit offering PSA tests to passers-by.
A simple blood test can make all the difference. That was the message from Prostate Cancer Gibraltar. On World Prostate Cancer Day, representatives have once again been raising awareness about good prostate health, also answering questions the public may have and accepting donations. Today, they were backed up by the GHA's mobile health unit.
Today, for the first time, we are having GHA here taking over that part of it, that link. We are trying to get people to go to GHA. GHA has come to us. So it's making it easier for people to get tested. And in fact, we've had 30 people being tested today, which is great. Hopefully, we should be able to do this again on other occasions, because we have a few functions during the year, including the shave off in November, which is very popular. And yeah, and we are happy that today's been that bit different, but for the positively. I mean, the service is there. Over 50, you're entitled to a PSA test. So yeah, just use it and, be safe on the right side. You want to be to avoid. I mean, like any cancer, if you don't treat it early enough, it can spread beyond control. Although, having said that, prostate cancer tends to be a slow cancer, but not all of them. So we never know. The best thing and the solution is getting a PSA test. And it's very simple. I mean, it's just a normal blood test.
We also spoke to a urology nurse about the process behind the blood test.
Well, this is an awareness for the prostate cancer. Once you have the bloods done, doesn't mean that you have prostate cancer, but it's a red light, and it's a process whether you get referred to the urologist, you get referred to an MRI scan, and that would probably detect something out of it. Next step would be we would send you off for a biopsy, and that would be specific for prostate cancer. My advice is that you should have the bloods done. Men should be for the awareness of prostate cancer. But again, I reiterate that if your prostate, you're having your bloods for prostate, it's high, it doesn't mean that you have cancer.
The GHA said it fully supported the aims and objectives of World Prostate